Outside somewhere in the world, there was a city named Dreamland. There were only two ways to live in the city of Dreamland, to either be really rich or to become a part of the true Dream family, swearing absolute loyalty to the leader and doing whatever was asked. In the center of the city, there was a skyscraper bigger than any of the others around it. Inside, on the very top floor, was a bald-headed man in a nicely fitted suit, sitting down in his large armchair at his desk. His name was Jack Truedream, the leader of one of the big four families. Just then, a female wearing business attire had entered the room. "Sir, there has been a report that one of our family members has died. Send me the report. I'd like to take a look." The female then clicked a device in her hand, and in an instant, a holographic display appeared in front of Jack. He used his hands to navigate through the pages and quickly read through the information. But then he spotted something that interested him and started to zoom in, right on Ian's neck. "Alexa, bring me up the report from 2 years ago on Danny Fletchman." One of the strongest men that the True Dream had in their family. When he had died, it had come to a shock to him, and no one knew who or what had done it. Apparently, they coincidentally came across Ian when they were out looking for 2 students. I don't know much of the details. "Do you know what military base they are from?" "Military Base 2, sir." Jack then stood up from his chair and closed his eyes. Inside of him, he could see around 10 little flames swirling around his stomach. Each of them looked slightly different from the others. "It looks like I'm running low on abilities again. I guess it would also be a good chance to stock up as well." With morning lessons over and done with, it was time for combat lessons to start. Layla had come over with Aaron by her side to Quinn. The 3 of them headed off to the beast weapons class, while Vorden had already left for the elemental class. Now sitting in the room all alone was Peter, just blankly staring at the wall in front of him. Peter continued to sit there and think back at all the stupid things he had done. Every time a stupid memory came up, he would pull his hair, trying to forget it, as if he was pulling the memories out of his head. He could feel something running down from the top of his head. He had pulled so hard and so much hair that blood was starting to drip from his scalp. As Quinn was just about to leave the second-year building to head to the Beast Weapons Hall, paused for a second right by the exit. Instantly the effect of the sun had hit him. "You are being hit by direct sunlight. All stats will be reduced by 70%. "Stephanie, are you freaking kidding me?" Quinn shouted in his head. Now, calm down," the system replied. "Well, honestly, I never really had this problem before. Back at the kingdom, we had plenty of items that stopped the sun from affecting us. Just take a look at your inventory. That ring you were looking at is given to the weakest of our men." The system was suddenly revealing a lot more information due to the outbursts. He then opened up Quinn's menu and went to show him the Shadow Skills tab. Out of the 10 skills, 3 had been unlocked, but 7 were still grayed out. "You just want to be able to fight in the sun, right? You see, the skill named Shadow Void, it costs a total of 20 skill points. I would recommend you unlock that next. This skill allows you to create your own space of shadows, blocking it from not only the sun, but outside viewers as well." While Quinn struggled to walk, Layla quickly came over and pulled out an umbrella over his head. "Vorden, looks like I'm needed more than you after all," Layla thought. "The sunlight is being blocked. All stats will return to normal." "You guys have to be lovey-dovey in front of me," Erin said as she saw the 2 walking under the umbrella. "We're not a couple. He's just feeling sick. The sun gives him heat stroke easily." "What a wimp," Erin said as she walked off ahead. The 3 of them had finally arrived at the Marshall Hall and no longer needed the umbrella. The classes had begun as normal, with Leo asking the students to warm up by sparring with each other, but once again Leo had asked Layla to step away, as Leo wanted to be his opponent. Leo then took Quinn to the corner of the room, away from the others, making sure they couldn't hear their conversation. "Thank you for saving me in the portal world," Quinn said first, hoping to get on his good side by sucking up to him. "I was just doing my job. What happened to your gauntlets? There's no energy emitting from your hand." "They broke in the portal world. I'm sorry, I'll pay you back." Leo raised his hand, telling Quinn to stop speaking. "Boy, there is no need. Those weren't expensive in the first place. But for something to break some beast gear, you must have fought against some beasts then." Quinn started to laugh nervously. He wasn't prepared for this and didn't really know how to answer. "Oh no, one of those rat beasts jumped at me, and all I did was lift my hand trying to protect myself." The beast wouldn't let go, so I had no choice but to take them off and run." "I see," Leo said as he stood there silent for a moment. "However, my ability does improve my senses, and I can hear your heart beating ever so loudly." Quinn gulped as he was afraid of what the old man might say next. "Now, Quinn, the truth is, I don't care what you are, but I only have one question to ask you. Are you on the humanities side?" Quinn started to think about the question Leo had asked him. If I answer this wrong, will he attack me, or maybe even turn me in? Quinn thought. If Quinn was to lie, he would be able to tell. Everything about the current human society made Quinn feel sick to his very core. Why did the military design this caste system that put everyone into categories? In a way, he wanted to see the current society fail. But did he want everyone to die? No. He couldn't exactly call himself human anymore. If they found out what he was, would they accept him over to their side? Probably not. Humans were scared of the unknown. But two people had already done it. Layla and Vorden did know what he was, and didn't stop speaking to him or treated him any differently. Quinn knew what his answer was. I'm on my own side, but there are people I want to protect on this side, too. For a second, Leo just stood there silently. I guess my answer was okay, then, Quinn said as he let out a huge puff of air. Get yourself a new weapon, kid, Leo shouted. You're going to need it for the portal expedition, and my offer still stands. Feel free to have a duel with me whenever you wish. The combat classes had ended, and Quinn didn't end up doing much in today's session. With no equipment of his own, he had to pick something else from the wall. But when he tried using a sword, he realized how much practice you needed before he could even become half-decent at the thing. Using his fist just felt natural to him, especially since nearly all of his skills required him to use his hands. This meant more than anything that he needed a new set of gauntlets. He finally sat down on the computer and went on to the marketplace. Enter username ID. I'll just use the same one as my game. Blood Evolver. Next, he started to search for gauntlets. There weren't as many online compared to other weapons, but there was still plenty to choose from. Let me give you a tip, the system said. Place your hand on the computer and use your inspect skill while looking at the item. Suddenly, he could see the stats of all the weapons that were in front of him. The second thing was the price of the gauntlets. They ranged from anywhere between 6,000 to 8,000 credits. In the end, he finally decided the best thing to do was to sell the advanced tier crystal. Quinn then started to search for a deathbat crystal on the marketplace, hoping to figure out what price he could sell it at, but to his surprise, there wasn't a single deathbat crystal up for sale. He did the base price of the crystal plus around 2,000 extra credits, selling it for 12,000 in total. And done. Now all I need to do is wait for it to be sold, then I can buy 2 intermediate crystals and get the weapon from the system. Ding! It had only been a few seconds, but someone had already put up the money for the crystal. With it came a portal confirmation number. All Quinn needed to do was to go to the storage unit and place the crystal in the teleporter. Once entering the confirmation number, it would teleport the item to the user on the other end. Somewhere in a dark room, a kid with his hair gelled backwards that looked to be a similar age to Quinn was on his computer browsing the marketplace. No way! And only for 12,000 credits! I have to buy this straight away. A man then appeared from the shadows and stood next to the boy. Young master, if your father finds out you didn't get the crystals through your own effort, he will be furious. Every one of us had to go hunt those beasts as a trial for ourselves, the man said. Ha ha! My father thought he could stop me. Now with the ring I can finally leave this place. He then looked at the computer screen once again. Thank you, Blood Evolver, you have made my day. If I ever meet you in real life, I promise I will repay this debt. After sending away the advanced tier crystal, it didn't take long for Quinn to receive the money. He looked at his watch, and 12,030 credits were all his. The shop stated that the gauntlets he was after didn't need any specific type, so he went ahead and purchased the 2 cheapest ones he could find at 1,000 each. The better equipment would allow him to hunt stronger beasts and earn more money. After searching and searching, he decided to fork out a load of money on a pair of black boots. He purposely chose a design that didn't look too fancy, but also gave him the best stats. As he walked over to the storage room, he couldn't help but have a skip in his step. Quickly, he lifted 2 boxes and started to rush off towards his dorm room. He placed both of the boxes down and immediately ripped into them. Inspect. Intermediate black-horned wolf boots. Agility +4. Defense +2. When boots are active, can increase the user's speed by 10% for 30 seconds. If hit while active, speed will return to normal. Next were the 2 intermediate crystals he had bought. He held each of them in his hand, and the message had appeared. Would you like to store intermediate beast crystals 2 in your inventory? After selecting yes, the 2 crystals started to disappear and suddenly vanished out of the palm of his hands. Would you like to create the best standard intermediate gauntlets? Cost 3 intermediate crystal. When he opened his eyes and looked down, the gauntlets were placed in his hand. Inspect. Best standard intermediate beast gauntlets. Strength +6. Defense +4. When using the skills Blood Swipe and Blood Spray, attacks will be 5% stronger. Let me show you something cool, the system said. Open up your dimensional portal using your shadow skill and place both of the boots and gauntlets in there. He did as told and opened up a small shadow portal, putting both of the items in. Weapons and armor detected in dimensional space. New skill Shadow Equip acquired. Shadow equipment? What does it do? Quinn asked. Just try it out and see. Shadow Equip activated. As soon as the skill was active, clouds of shadow surrounded his hands and feet. He could feel something forming on top of his hands and legs. Then, when the shadow clouds disappeared, the equipment he had put in the portal was now on him. It was like instant equipment. With this, Quinn didn't need to wear all his equipment beforehand. He could even hide high levels of equipment from the eyes of others and be ready for a fight any time. With the new equipment all set up and ready, Quinn was itching to test it out, and he knew the perfect place to test it, the VR game. Unknown to Quinn, though, the last time he played, he had caused quite a stir, and one person in particular had been checking the game every day for Quinn to log in. Logan was waiting for him. This time when he logged in, he was going to find out just who this blood evolver was. When Quinn entered the room, Vorden was already inside on his bed relaxing. Actually, something has been really bugging me about the whole Peter situation. It's obvious someone asked him to do it, right? And they had already set up a fall guy to take the blame. But when I tried to find out what happened to that person today, not a single person knew. Everyone just kept saying the punishment was dealt with by Duke, since he's a second year. I know, Quinn said as he snapped his fingers. Why don't you ask Layla? Apparently when we left, they ran into those friends of Peter's. Quinn, you do know me and her don't get on, right? Well, I know you're going to have to. We have the expedition next week. You're not actually going to try to become friends with her, are you? Rayton asked. Just kill her and then he doesn't have to choose. We are his best friend. Done. Deal and off. With Vorden investigating the situation, that meant Quinn would be free to head to the VR room tomorrow. But before he shut his eyes to go to sleep, he decided to have a look at the tutorial video he had unlocked while reaching level 10. Once again, the blonde man appeared, who looked like he was in some type of dojo. By now, you should have also unlocked the skill Blood Spray and learnt the skill Hammer Strike. What's even better is if you combine the two skills together. Rather than spreading out like it usually did, it was compact and came out together in a thick line. In the video, a loud sound could be heard. Whoops, the blonde man said. Looks like I will have to make some repairs to the dojo. This move I call Hammer Spray. The next day when they awoke, Quinn was greeted with his usual message. Avoid sunlight for 8 hours, 5 EXP gained, 10 of 100 EXP. Quinn was glad that after he evolved his EXP points seemed to have reset. Quinn headed to the VR room while Vorden started to head outside the building. Standing just outside the gate was Aaron and Layla. As soon as Layla spotted Vorden, no, he couldn't be. Is he walking over to us? She thought. For the first time, Vorden was stuttering in his life, but it wasn't because he was scared. It was because of Rayton yelling all sorts of things in his head. I need your help, he blurted out. The look on Layla's face was one she had never made before. Finally, Quinn had arrived at the VR center and went up to the counter. It was early in the morning, so there weren't a lot of people around yet. Besides, people didn't usually want to spend their weekends playing a game all day. He looked around and then, when no one was looking, opened up his dimensional void to pull out his boots and gauntlets. He placed them both in the scanner, and when the process was finished, proceeded to put them away back in his dimensional void again. Welcome, Blood Evolver. After entering the pod, he was transported to the blank white space. He tried to use his shadow abilities just as he had done his blood abilities. However, this time they did not work. Time to test out these new skills. Searching for same-level opponents. To start off with, he just wanted some easy picking to test out his skills, but the second he started to search, his player ID had gone online. "Oh, I haven't seen him in a while," Nate said.
"Now spectating Bloody Volver."
But he wasn't the only one keeping an eye on him. So was Logan. He had set up the system so it would ping him as soon as the Bloody Volver went online. There was a part of him that was hoping the videos were fake. He needed to see it with his own eyes, whether or not someone was able to break the system. After searching for a minute or so, a suitable opponent was found. Equipped with his new boots and gauntlets, his stats were as high as they ever had been.
Strength 16 plus 6, stamina 15, agility 16 plus 4, charm 5.
The countdown began, and the game had started. In an instant, Quinn rushed forward. With his new boots, he felt lighter and faster than ever. The first fight was simply a test of everything he could do. He would run from side to side. His opponent found it nearly impossible to keep up with him. The user then prepared the water held in his hand and started to form a long blade with it. After running around the room for 30 seconds, the boots had finally worn off, and now Quinn was heading straight for his opponent.
5-minute cooldown before wind run can be used again.
"He's really going to just run straight at me?" the user thought, and when Quinn was close enough, he swung his water blade across right at him. He looked the user in the eye and for the first time, activated his new skill.
Daze has been activated. Your opponent has been stunned.
Suddenly a fear had set into the water user's mind. A shiver was sent down his spine, and when he tried to move his hand, there was no response. Quinn then threw out his fist, and right when it landed on the user's stomach, he activated his blood spray at the same time.
Winner, Bloody Volver.
It had only taken a single punch with blood spray to finish his opponent off. "Looks like all my vampire abilities work here, not just my blood skills. Well, that's good to know." Logan had even checked beforehand and confirmed that Quinn had selected no ability before entering the game. He quickly started typing rapidly onto his keyboard and searched for any information he could pull. After typing away for a few minutes, he finally found the information he needed.
User Bloody Volver. Login location, Military Base 2.
"Oh, will you look at that? It seems like we're quite close after all," Logan said, smiling at his computer screen.
Hi, Quinn here. Wondering what happens next? If you want to jump the queue and unleash all episodes, click on the link here and install the Pocket FM app.